honey banana, but guy, but girl, but everybody out here, okay? Go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. If at all you're like all annoyed by the fact that I just start rapping on and you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the previous part. I was lamenting therein about the apartheid crisis in this country and how it's causing people to drop like flies. And you know what it is similar to? So there is this nefarious, utterly ominous, it's dark, it's sinister, it is from the abyss, it might as well be Satan himself, law in Canada called MAID, okay? It is called MAID of which stands for medically assisted suicide or something, okay? M-A-I, I don't know what I stands for, but a medically assisted induction of death, andazi. But it is basically some governmental strategy to help you basically be put on the lethal injection until you breathe your last or something. And it has been put in place, euthanasia, right? That is the MAID. The term MAID is a euphemized version of the word euthanasia. Just a barbaric act, okay? That's what's good. It was legalized, I believe, in 2000 and... When was it? Is it 3? If not, I don't care, because it was worthless anyway. Yay, yay, yay. But only in 2023. Is it going to be made available, believe it or not, to, I don't know, children? Yes. It's also going to be made available to people who aren't actually sick, don't have pain in their body, are not actually terminally ill, but are just, you know, kind of sad. That's what's good. People who are just kind of sad. Yeah. So if you've got depression, now it's being made available to, like I said, even children. So you can trust that a person just going through the angst of whatever hormonal catastrophe happens in the body during puberty, and you now start getting all this acne on your face, and so you feel like you're ugly and your peers in school are dissing you, you can go to Canada, knock on a door of some like facility and be like, hi there, I would absolutely, like, I'm in dire need of assistance to die. I don't want to have to hang because it looks like it could hurt. I don't want to have to cut because, like I said, that looks like it could hurt. I also don't want to be thinking too much, you know, prior to my death, so I would likely prefer to kind of be anesthetized or something, be under some anesthetic. So would you be happy, since I've got all the cystic acne and all these hormones are running awry all up in my grill, and on top of that I've got premenstrual syndrome? Like, who does that? Who does PMS? Like, I don't know what it was like back in the day when I was only like, I don't know, 6. I didn't have this, and now that I'm like 13, I don't dig. So would you just kind of like help me not have to hang? Would you like help me not have to cut myself? Because, you know, like I said, those look like they could hurt, because I'm totally depressed by the PMS and all this acne. Look at me, I used to be cute. And they're like, you don't even need parental assistance, guidance, or approval. We'll help you die, little girl. We'll help you die! Yeah, no, that is the MAID program. It's utterly nefarious. It's ominous. When you listen to it, there's like rumblings of thunder in the background and some eerie music with a violin. Just going. Like, that is that program in Canada. It's been extended now to anybody that has any kind of mental illness. Last time I checked, mental illness amidst it is not just a person who's totally like they've lost their mind, their noodles are gone, and they keep spinning on the spot all day long, incomprehensible when they speak, and frankly they are a menace to society and a burden to everybody. No, we're not just speaking about that mental illness, and they claim that such people can't be killed under MAID because that would be the tantamount of just like ethnic cleansing or something, society of, as opposed to ethnic cleansing, just removing the crazy off the streets by killing them. That would be obviously illegal. So even the super crazy guy is protected under MAID. However, it is the person that still has their faculties intact that can actually get themselves killed, right? So under the silly law, silly is quite the euphemism, frankly, it's nefarious. Under this diabolical law, people who are in their right mind when they petition for this are the only ones that qualify, and insofar as they've got a mental illness, they can then also apply for this like thingy-ma-bobby. How many people do you know that are morbidly depressed, that every so often can't stop thinking about suicide? People who usually go to churches and they're like, I don't know, is God really true? Is he really real? Can he help me overcome my clinical depression? Because I have popped so many antidepressants antidepressants that I can't deal. People who actually want help. People that the rest of us are like, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary issue. Don't do it. People who all of us are trying to get to not jump. People have staged a whole bunch of interventions to try and protect them from killing themselves are now being told by Canada, stop listening to all of those happy-go-lucky, freaky little randoms that think that your problems can't go away. Okay? Stop listening to all the religious fanatics. Those guys are buffoons. Stop listening to the therapist lady that is going to do everything in her power to grab all of her knowledge from university to prevent you from jumping. Stop joining self-help groups. Stop joining Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. Stop joining everywhere where you can overcome an addiction in life that makes you want to die. Just come and we'll help you die. Because you are a burden to yourself and your pain is too extreme, your emotional circumstances too taxing, and frankly, we're sick and tired of having to appoint you some kind of a therapist to make you feel better. Just leave, because the world wants a happier environment, and you being in it with all of your tears is just quite taxing on us also. Let's help you die. Even teenagers, like kids, 5, 6-year-olds, toddlers can undergo this MAID, and with the kids as well. They don't need parental assistance, or not assistance, sorry, but what is this, parental approval. So it's just like what's going on in the United States with the woke agenda, where they teach your kids rubbish in school, confuse the living daylights out of those children concerning their genders and what have you, while you as a parent who can't afford to take your child to private school or a Christian school are subjugated to the tyranny of this rubbish being fed your kid, and your kid does not even have to ask you for permission, neither does the school have to seek out your consent to like basically brainwash your child and indoctrinate your kid. Yeah, well, the MAID program also says to children that, look, you can come in and die and your parents don't have to know. So can you imagine the level of devastation of an approved teenager when she is helped by the government to die when her mom and dad don't even know? That is what Canada's currently doing. Yeah, it reminds me of the abortion in this country when it was signed into law back just after apartheid ended. It used to be illegal at some point. Yeah, when I studied it in high school, I was trained this by my physical education teacher, who was also a guidance teacher. They told us teenagers in grade 11, matric, grade 10, that an abortion is your right as a person who is sexually active, and you don't even have to ask your parents permission. So kids were just busy having sex all over the show, and when then they fell pregnant, they could abort fetuses without their parents knowing. Next thing, this chick has killed herself out of guilt. Mom doesn't know, dad doesn't know what in the world happened to our child. One day they were very happy, next thing they've committed suicide. Meanwhile, a doctor would have gone on to perform an abortion on a 16-year-old girl, and not knowing what in the world she was doing, she ended up feeling so bereft with guilt that she killed herself. But the mom don't know. They don't know. Their kid is just dead. So that MAID program is similar to what happened in this nation with abortion, and it is also similar to what in the world under heaven is happening in this country. I used MAID to help you understand what South Africa is doing with these power cuts. Like, it's literally a freaking human sacrifice. I can't say that enough. It is a medically assisted, intervention to die or whatever. All right? South Africa has got a spiritual version of MAID through these podcasts, where people who under normal circumstances would have found it in themselves to push another day, cause I can see the sun rising after a day of sorrow. The weeping may endure for the night, joy comes in the morning, na na na. And while you're busy singing that worship song, power cut, switch off your gospel song, and you're like, but where is God in all of this? He doesn't care that I'm sad. I was listening to worship music, now it's gone. They're helping South Africans to off themselves, population control, and I thoroughly believe that it is deliberate, because there are so many interventions possible for this country that we can get out of this situation, and yet the government flat out is sitting where it's sitting on some, no, I'm sorry, we're not doing it. They just flat out, it's like a defeatism that is unnecessary. We are not stranded in a circumstance that is irrevocably so. We can get out of this, and yet they choose not to fix it, which tells me that this is a strategy on a global scale to just cull a whole bunch of people through any means necessary. The country is demonically oppressed. There's so many people practicing witchcraft, and on top of that, everybody's losing their livelihoods because of this power cut crisis, and South Africa refuses to fix it. So I am thinking this is a satanic ritual to spill as much blood as possible possible in order to facilitate what agenda? I don't know, but it is of a global nature, and our president is just turning a blind eye and every so often rocking up at meetings to speak smack, however, with no solution in sight. And then they go and they blame ESCOM. I'm sorry, it's your fault. Next part.